Hey there, fellow wanderers. Tonight, we embark on a journey unlike any other, meandering through the vast expanses of history, where the Mongol court once thrive a realm defined not only by its conquests, but also its vibrant cultural tapestry. As darkness settles, imagine the flicker of torchlight illuminating the intricate silk patterns in the royal yurts, the smell of freshly turned earth mixing with the intoxicating aromas of spiced meats and fermented mare's milk. The cool breeze carries the distant echo of string instruments and the gentle murmur of conversation weaving through the expansive tent city. This is not a fairy tale, no fairy dust or knights in shining armor here. The stories and experiences on which we shall linger are soaked in the gritty reality of survival, luxury, and extraordinary lives led by the emperors and their courts. At the Mongol palace, festivals and daily life blur seamlessly, as revelry intertwines with the political chess played under the same star-scattered skies. So before we dive deeper, I ask only this: if this kind of raw, unvarnished truth speaks to you, click like, hit subscribe, and leave a trace of yourself in the comments. Tell me your city, your time, your state of mind. Now, dim the lights. Let the hum of your fan blend with the wind of centuries past. Let's begin. And remember, in medieval times, even survival was a luxury. As you trudge along the rugs, laid over the dirt paths leading to Kublai Khan's domain, it's easy to be swept away by the relentless energy of the Mongol court. The air is a symphony of rich, exotic scents. You can almost taste the tang of salt in the brisket, or feel the warmth from the fur-laden yurts set against the cold, expansive steppe. Inside these grand tents, draped in layers of Chinese silk and velvet brought all the way from Europe, you see courtiers adorned in finery that stories are made of. Their robes shimmer under the soft glow of lantern light, each movement encapsulating an echo of centuries-old traditions and conquests. The air is thick with chatter languages from every corner of the known world ripple through the night air, a testament to the reach and influence of the mighty Mongol Empire. Here, you might hear whispers of grand diplomacy, murmured debates on the latest architectural innovations, or playful banter as guests mingle over platters of roasted hare and dishes dotted with seasonal fruit. Beneath the surface elegance, however, lies the informal yet prevalent sense of calculated attention. Every interaction here is layered with more meaning than meets the eye, a complex dance of alliances, where a single misstep could nudge you into obscurity or thrust you into the commanding eye of the great Khan himself. But let's not get too carried away. Amid the splendor of it all, remember the daily entertainments that keep this empire thriving, from horse races streaking across the open plains to the intimate music gatherings where the sound of the morin khur, a traditional Mongolian bowed string instrument, reverberates through the night. These small oases of joy are the very threads stitching together the fabric of the Mongol heartland. Historians still argue whether these gatherings at the Mongol court truly reflected the personality of its rulers, or if they were designed to mask underlying political tensions and ambitions. Regardless, to wander through such a setting is to witness the epicenter of a world power at its zenith, a court where fortunes swayed like the scented smoke from their golden incense burners, rising and fading under the watchful eye of the sky. And there, amidst the court's diversity, is an efficiency in its disorder. It's a world built on pragmatism, yet unafraid to indulge in the splendors of the earth and the heavens above. As guests sip on aged wine stored in intricate vessels from distant lands, the distant howls of wolves seem to harmonize with the evening wind, crafting a lullaby exclusive to this unique world. In the heart of the court, bold colors repeat themselves in rich reds and calming greens, yet their visual conversation never tires. The tapestries tell tales of victories past, and exotic spices add layers to each dish that speak to conquests beyond mere battles. As these thoughts envelop you, the rhythm of the night begins to settle in your bones, a gentle reminder that history is most alive in its quieter moments, those uncaptured by textbooks. The Mongol court, in all its glory, served not only as a backdrop for the strategies of power, but as a living testament to the meld of cultures that echoed across the lands it touched. Historical records show that the Mongol Empire once spanned continents, a fusion as rich and varied as the exotic perfumes drifting from the courtesan's side. Like a puzzle with each piece cut from a wildly different landscape, the court offered a hint of the world's vastness, channeling the best of what any soul could imagine or desire. As the flame of the torch flickers and the night progresses, one can't help but feel that this grand celebration of diversity and relentlessness defines the Mongol spirit. The court may have been host to numerous festivals and follies, yet in its heart echoed the beat of continuity of every narrative extending beyond the present moment. Through the corridors once walked by the great leaders and their councils, imagine yourself a part of this unfolding story, each step threading time's tapestry, a tale told for those who dare to listen. Now deeply embedded in the sights and sounds of the Mongol court, you find your attention drawn towards a gathering of effusive energy and grandeur feast, hosted by none other than Kublai Khan himself. The air, dense with laughter and rich aromas, is vibrant and alive as you approach the heart of the celebration, where every sense is tantalized by the lavish display of culinary artistry. The center of this gastronomic universe is a table that seems to stretch endlessly, laden with an array of dishes that present a beautiful fusion of cultures and flavors. The Mongol court is a crossroads of East and West, and the banquet reflects this dynamic interplay. Echoes of distant lands are present in the subtle fragrances of saffron and cumin, mixed with the familiar warmth of the steppe's traditional ingredients like mutton and the ever-present staple dumplings. Even in this opulent display, there is a sense of practicality, as each dish caters to the intense climate and the needs of the warriors seated around. Before you have a chance to delve deeper into this symphony of flavors, let's transport ourselves to one of the banquet's central spectacles. Here, master chefs hone the flame-kissed glazes on roasted bird peacocks and swans, making them too beautiful to eat, if not for the rumbling reminders of hunger that prompt you otherwise. There are pyramids of pastries filled with cheese and sugar, foreign luxuries imported by way of the day's most ambitious merchants. As you observe, a new dish captures the diner's attention, an exotic feast for the senses known as budog, an ancient Mongolian barbecue tradition. A whole goat, seasoned with wild herbs and garlic, is cooked from the inside using heated stones, essentially roasting it from the inside out. It's a wild and adventurous preparation that seems to capture perfectly the spirit of the Mongol riders, both practical and surprisingly sophisticated. There's an undercurrent of music, a gentle string accompaniment that carries the mood from the corners of the great tent. It's a practical necessity, this music a subtle engine keeping the festivity moving, nudging conversations into livelier terrains and coaxing smiles from where there was thoughtful silence. Historians still debate whether the Mongol love of feasting was a reflection of their nomadic roots, a literal way to unite tribe and family, or a grand display of wealth intended to solidify alliances with visiting dignitaries. Either way, sitting here amidst it all, it feels rather like being part of a living mural, each bite taken a stroke painting relationships across the canvas of empire. Meanwhile, Kublai Khan, a polymath in his court, not only commands the feast but is seen actively participating in the dialogue encompassing trade routes, art, and science. His reputation as a ruler was as much about governance as it was about the rich interactions promoted by gatherings like these. It is said he could maneuver diplomatically as deftly as his predecessors managed the bow and saddle. During a pause in the merriment, a toast rings out, a simple yet profound reminder of the unity within diversity that defines this empire. Silver goblets clink together, a sign of alliance and camaraderie that resonates down to your very core. The golden hue of fermented mare's milk, or Kumis, the ubiquitous beverage of the court, seems to glow with a life of its own in the warmth of the lamplight. You share in this toast, which is more than just a sip of refreshment. It's a shared experience, a celebration of the cultures converging under one opulent tent. Amidst the clatter of cups and cutlery, laughter weaves through conversations told in every conceivable dialect, echoing the uncontained joy of a people who have tamed the world and, for today, come together not under the banner of conquest, but of unity. As the night grows deeper, the feast transitions to a slower, more reflective period. The abundance of food gives way to a sense of contentment, and you begin to appreciate the exchange of stories, small tokens of friendship offered across the tabletail of cultures embracing one another through shared experiences and unique flavors. In an empire known for expansion, the Mongol feast is a moment of internal growth, a festival of all things consumed and celebrated. Remember that sheep's wool clothing? That practicality extends now to the woolen seat cushions keeping you warm, every detail attending to the guest's comfort. So it is that under the dark and infinitely wide sky, this feast becomes more than a mere meal. It metamorphoses into a living tableau, a testament to an age where pleasure and politics intertwined like the winds that now ease the air around you. Your senses remain drenched in these delights, leaving you both sated and eager for whatever histories the Mongol night, a tapestry rich and textured in its weave may yet disclose. As the glow of the banquet starts to fade, and the embers of the great fires are left to smolder, you find yourself drawn into a quieter corner of the Mongol court, a place where the infamous beverage known as Kumis is poured generously. This fermented mare's milk, with its uniquely tangy and slightly effervescent taste, is not just a drink. It's an emblem of Mongol life and tradition. Cradling a cup of Kumis in your hands, you immerse yourself in the peculiar ritual surrounding its consumption. The Mongols believe it imbues strength and vitality, a notion not wholly disconnected from its fermentation process, which, in simpler terms, can pack quite a punch. Here, amid the softly murmuring groups gathered around low tables, you begin to understand why this drink is both respected and relished. The air holds a nostalgic hint of sourness, a scent reminiscent of freshly tilled soil after a storm that complements the cold chill of the evening. For someone not accustomed to its acidic bite, Kumis might invite a reflexive cringe. Even the seasoned travelers among you require a moment to adjust. Yet, just as abruptly, you're engulfed in an unexpected warmth that spreads through your belly, steadying your mind and grounding your senses in the present. The Mongols have embraced Kumis not only as a beverage but as a metaphor binding earth and sky. Its wild taste, one that commands respect, harkens to their grazing horses and nomadic wanderings across endless plains. A practical solution for sustenance, transforming the ephemeral milking season into a long-lasting cultural staple. And with Kumis in hand, you find yourself engaged in stories from the past, often spurred on by the drink itself. Somebody's recounting the saga of Temujin, rising from orphan to the formidable force known as Genghis Khan. His story, like Kumis, is a blend both sharp and smooth, riddled with legends that paint a life stitched together from harsh realities and improbable victories. Historians still argue whether Kumis served more as an intoxicant for morale, or if it offered genuine nutritional benefits that were indispensable to the Mongol diet. Within these debates lies a fascinating insight into a people who derive deep meaning from seemingly mundane things, from animal husbandry to fermentation. In this boisterous storytelling corner, drink flows freely, and you hear a fascinating tidbit about its role as currency, a commodity that could wield influence or act as a peace offering. An elder laughs as he recounts border negotiations on the steppe lubricated by vats of the stuff, Kumis acting as a diplomatic tool nearly as effective as armies. As the night wears on, a jovial contest emerges who can recite the longest historical poem without stumbling, both entertaining and a showcase of the cultural memory encapsulated by oral tradition. Each stanza is toasted with a sip of Kumis, the collective warmth shared by all present, a living nod to Mongol heritage. While you listen, it is impossible not to notice the quiet camaraderie built around these communal cups. Here lies an unspoken understanding that survival in Mongol society was as much about being resourceful as it was about shared friendships and respect, a casual reminder of the pastoral heart underlying even their achievements in empire building. Slowly, This collective buzz quiets and settles around you. The sky illuminates with 1,000 stars, gazing down upon you like watchful spirits of the past. The air cools further, and the warmth of the Kumis gradually gives way to a softer, restful poignancy. This is comfort in its simplest form, the primal warmth of shared experience, held in the comfort of a curved cup. These sips of Kumis cradle the evening tales, a night where, even in rest and revelry, the hand of history can be felt tracing its familiar patterns. Beyond the boundaries of this evening lies a great world still turning, brimming with the possibilities that Kumis and companionship have fortified. Would this beverage have had the same cultural imprint if the Mongols' narrative had ebbed with time, rather than flowed into the broader human experience? With that question resting like a feather in your mind, the story of the Mongol court continues, woven in these subtle layers of past whispers carried forward through the ages. Among these gatherings, Kumis becomes more than a drink. It serves as a gateway to the shared memory of a people whose spirit, against all odds, continues to thrive. As dawn breaks over the Mongol steppe, a distinct energy permeates the air, signaling the arrival of Naadam, the grand festival known to many as the Three Manly Games. This traditional celebration gathers the Mongol people into a riveting display of skill, endurance, and cultural pride, grounded in a rich history that traces back to the epoch of Genghis Khan himself. Imagine standing in a vast, open field where the horizon stretches endlessly in every direction, the ground beneath your feet seemingly vibrating with the thundering hoofbeats of agile mares. As the sun inches higher, its warmth begins to counteract the chill left by the fading night, casting long, golden rays over this flurry of excitement. You find yourself surrounded by throngs of people, local tribesmen in colorful deals, those familiar, long, tunic-like garments. The air is filled with the sweet, earthy aroma of the land, mingling with the hearty scent of street food stalls densely packed around the perimeter, offering everything from spicy lamb skewers to the ever-present dumplings. The ambient soundscape is a cacophony of friendly chatter, bartering, and the melodic strains of the Morin Khor echoing across the plains. Here, Naadam serves not just as festive entertainment, but as a living tribute to the legacy of the nomadic warriors who shaped the tapestry of Mongol history. The key events, wrestling, horse racing, and archery, are more than mere competitive pursuits. They are the embodiment of physical prowess and the cultural ethos of a people intimate with the land and its gifts. As wrestlers begin to assemble, they engage in customary warming up, wearing snug-fitting singlets that provide freedom of movement. The traditional costume, adorned with eagle wings, symbolizes the strength and grace expected of each competitor. You watch them perform their eagle dance, each movement a homage to strength, grace, and the proud embodiment of the ancestral spirit. Mainstream history aligns well with the story of Mongol wrestling, a celebrated practice where to lose is not a disgrace, but an opportunity for growth. There is an ancient adage that resonates here: 1,000 friends are few, one enemy is too many, encapsulating the game's emphasis on preserving honor, respect, and camaraderie over all things. Next, your attention drifts toward the sprawling racecourse. Young boys, a prelude to Mongol warriors ride ponies bareback, their expressions serious, determined as they coax speed from their nimble mounts. These horses are the empire's lifeline, sources of mobility and might, furthering their repute as children of the horse. Visually, it's an awe-inspiring combination of contrasts. The riders, tiny figures astride their powerful, majestic steeds, silhouetted against the wide blue dome of sky. Historians still argue whether this historic race served primarily as a rite of passage or as a means to scout future talents for the Khan's cavalry. Yet, the importance of this racing tradition reflects the immense value Mongols placed upon their equine companions and the remarkable bond between them. Meanwhile, archery contests take place on a nearby field. Here, sharp-eyed marksmen test their skill with the composite bow, a marvel of engineering in its day. You see the competitors maintain calm concentration, unfazed by the chaos around them. The satisfying twang of bowstrings releasing echoes in the air, arrows finding their targets with precise elegance. Each successful shot is met with restrained nods of approval and bursts of applause. It is believed that the three disciplines of Naadam, rooted in the practicalities of life on the steppe, designed as much for survival as they were for spectacle. Wrestling to develop strength and resilience, archery for sharp focus and coordination, and horse racing to hone essential skills for nomadic travel and warfare. Among these exhilarating displays, a quirky or fringe tidbit emerges. Naadam also includes intricate board games played in the quieter corners of the festival. Shadar, a variant of chess, and Togu's Korgul are strategic pastimes that challenge intellect and wit, offering moments of reprieve from the physical rigors of the day. As you weave through the crowd, you might find yourself caught in various celebratory side ventures full of laughter, music, and the constant flow of Kumis. Pausing for a moment to digest the beauty of Naadam, you realize it's more than a showcase of strength. It's a communal experience that fosters unity among the tribes, weaving together past and present, a reminder of strength hailed not just in dominion but in the harmony and unity of kindred spirits. As the shadows lengthen and the festival begins to wind down, the sense of history here feels visceral and alive. It's as if you are walking through a mosaic of living history, each part intricately dancing with the other, a rare combination of fierce competition melding seamlessly with the social tapestry that sustains a culture. This is Naadam, where history's heartbeat is felt most keenly in the dust, kicked up by horses' hooves, and the joyous cries of the victors echoing past, present, and future. As the dust of Naadam settles, and the fiery hues of sunset embrace the horizon, you find yourself drawn toward a truly enchanting spectacle, rhythmic clock dance. This ancient ceremony, carried out around the crackling flames of a ceremonial bonfire, encapsulates a harmonious blend of spirituality and entertainment that resonates deeply within the Mongol psyche. Enveloped in the cool embrace of the evening, you notice the participants forming a large circle. Each dancer dons traditional Atarasoft reds and blues highlighted by the silver threads of familial brocade, garments that whisper tales of lineage and connection to the earth. The air is chill, yet the collective warmth of the gathered crowd and the lively firelight fend off the icy night, creating a cocoon of vibrant energy. The dance commences with gentle steps that serve to tether the dancers to both earth and time. It is as if each movement pays homage to the clock of nature, the turning of the seasons, the movement of stars, and the cycles of the moon, all intertwined in a mesmerizing nexus of folk tradition. The dance pattern, intricate and deliberate, mimics a clock's linear progression, marking the passage of both time and history. Against a backdrop dotted with stars and the moon's faint silver glow, the music swells around you, a melodic embrace that intertwines the hauntingly beautiful call of the Morin Kur with the rhythmic beat of a two-headed drum. Harmonious voices rise in unison, singing of epic battles won and harvests reaped, their lyrics at once grounding and uplifting, filled with echoes of the past and whispers of future aspirations. Throughout this seamless dance, every gesture is encapsulated with purpose. A hand sweep hints at sowing seeds, a turn speaks of harvest, and an upward stretch touches on aspirations beyond earthly concerns. This fluid narrative, captured in the dancer's movements, creates a thread tying past and present in its endless loop, a reminder of life's cyclical nature. A light-hearted, almost whimsical tidbit of the ceremony emerges as a comical character clad in oversized boots and exaggerated features occasionally disrupts the dancers, evoking laughter with jests and antics. This figure, or Tengri's jester, always smiles, embodying the belief that humor softens hardship, turning the wheels of fate more gently. As the dance intensifies, you can't help but notice how seamlessly the modern integrates with tradition. A similar circle, not far from the dancers, sees a few younger onlookers seamlessly incorporate contemporary dance steps, a nod to the past yet interlaced with today's influences. It's a visual representation of history's elasticity, never static, always expanding and contracting to accommodate new voices. Historians still argue whether this particular dance has remained unchanged since its earliest inception, though its core homage to cyclical time resonates regardless of its transformations. In these scholarly debates, it becomes evident that the persistence of tradition merges with the ebb and flow of cultural evolution. With every turn and sway, the rhythm persists, resonating with a familiarity that transcends generations. The cultural fabric embraces this ceremony, weaving a tale as much about collective identity as it is individual perception. Here, connection, continuity, and change coexist, threading an eternal narrative into the realm of the tangible. As observers, we're left not just witnessing a dance, but absorbed into its very essence. The clock dance becomes a tangible bridge between history and the present, each revolution encapsulating anticipation, reflection, and renewal. This dance is a poignant reminder of how traditions both anchor us and provide the momentum to move forward, a balance of contradiction and cohesion. Gradually, as the dance reaches its natural conclusion, there is a palpable shift in the air. A gentle tranquility descends upon the gathering, and the dancers slowly drift apart. The once vigorous beats quieten to a soothing hum that echoes through the landscape, leaving only the crackling bonfire to cast its rhythmic glow across the plains. In this tranquil moment, where time itself seems suspended, the dance imparts a final gift upon the gatherers, a reminder of the endurance of human spirit, resilience in adversity, and the beautiful coexistence of past, present, and future. As the night reclaims its hold over the land, you realize you've witnessed a marvel that will linger with you long after the fires have died and the echoes of the dance have faded into the ether. As the flickering flames of the bonfire subside and the stars above twinkle with an ageless consistency, your gaze is drawn to a gathering within the grand yurts. There, the delicate murmur of silk and the rustle of finely woven garments draw your attention to the Empress herself, draped in a cloak of unrivaled elegance adorned with the emblematic figure of a tiger, its intricate patterns woven into the rich fabric, creating a tapestry of understated power and beauty. The silk glistens under the dim torchlight, its colors shifting subtly as the fabric catches every flicker of flame. A palpable reverence permeates the space as courtiers admire the craftsmanship and the symbolic resonances embedded within every stitch. The tiger, an icon of strength and ferocity, reflects the Mongols' affinity for power born of agility and grace, while also showcasing the empire's interconnectedness with diverse cultures. The air carries hints of incense and the faint scent of sheep's wool in the rich tapestries lining the yurt, creating a sensory tableau of textures and aromas that evoke a sense of place and history. As each garment moves gracefully with its wearer, whispers of other lands enrich the night's festivities, weaving stories of trade and diplomacy into each fold of fabric. On closer observation, you notice that the designs aren't simply decorative. They speak the silent language of status and lineage. The Empress's cloak is but one of many garments symbolizing the wearer's rank, heritage, and influence. These robes, decorated with motifs of lotus flowers, dragons, and phoenixes, reference the cultural melting pot that defined the Mongol Empire, derived from China, Persia, and beyond. Although adorned with beauty, there's an odd yet charming custom at play, here a quirky tidbit in the world of fashion. Another cloak catches your eye, embroidered with comical caricatures of toads and frogs. Unusual, yes, but it's said these motifs safeguard against false pretense, a talismanic irony to counter the often ruthless realm of courtly ambition. Historians still debate whether the Mongols' adaptation of foreign textiles was purely a display of wealth and power, or whether these influenced designs signify deeper cultural exchanges. However, standing amidst this kaleidoscope of textures and colors, it's clear that these sartorial choices go beyond aesthetics to illustrate the empire's integrated yet multifaceted character. The garments worn here are not merely visual delights, they are intrinsic to the ambient sound as well. The gentle clinking of miniature bronze bells stitched into hems an audible reminder as dignified figures make their way across the intricately woven rugs. Each soft chime accentuates the atmosphere of anticipated power held within the court, a subtle reinforcement of the regal cadence swaying with every step. In this ebbing night's embrace, the cloak of the Empress also becomes a point of reflection for broader philosophical themes. If you peer closely, each thread seems to carry whispers of bygone eras, reminders of the intricacies inherent within sovereign circles, a continuous loop, merging personal desires with imperial duties. Clothing, in its sheer beauty, becomes emblematic of the weight carried by history, ambition, and unity. As the evening's light begins to wane, court nobles continue to admire and engage in discreet conversations, the fabric's emotive narratives infusing each discourse with supportive layers, much like the sumptuous cloth itself, each fold concealing layers of meaning. It's a masterclass in perceptive subtlety, where the visual allure weaves stories as enduring and compelling as the mighty figures draped within the fabric. And as you finally step from the yurt, the cloak's tiger, with its limbs seemingly in perpetual motion, casts its lasting shadow on your thoughts, a powerful reminder that amidst the resplendent finery and the blend of cultural echoes, there lies a deeper, ever-resonating truth. To wear such a cloak is to embody the diverse trails of destiny interlinked through the vast expanse of history, a testament to the endurance and grandeur that define the world of the Mongol court. With this in mind, you walk back to the serene nightscape, where the tapestry of the cosmos stretches infinitely above, and the legacy of empires unfurls anew beneath a continuous cycle of remembrance and reinvention beneath the watchful eyes of constellations. As the veil of night enfolds the court, whispers beneath the swaying yurts tell of secret banquets where alliances are forged and power subtly shifts hands under the cloak of darkness. These secretive gatherings, concealed from the flamboyant public eye, are where the true art of Mongol diplomacy is practiced, away from the glaring light of the grand halls. Imagine a secluded setting, dimly illuminated by the soft glow of oil lamps, casting shadows that dance along the canvas walls. The air hums with the sweet aroma of dried herbs, mingling with the savory scent of slow-roasted meats, a sensory bedrock over which hushed discussions take place. These banquets are less about opulence and more about the gravity of matters discussed, wrapped in the guise of camaraderie. Around a low table laden with a sparse yet thoughtful selection of dishes, the atmosphere is different from the grandiose feasts experienced earlier. There's an intimate tension, a sense of exclusivity. Here gather not only the most trusted courtiers but also foreign emissaries and envoys, the true architects of tomorrow's treaties and, occasionally, its treacheries. The Mongol love for practicality is evident even in this setting. In a corner, a map sprawled across the table, dotted with figurines, serves as a stage where conquests are rehearsed, borders redrawn with a gentle finger sweep, and trade routes rerouted to favor burgeoning alliances. It's a silent play of planning where words are measured and gestures purposeful. Interspersed among these delicate negotiations are toasts of fermented mare's milk, a reassuring yet potent comfort in these solemn times. The drink, with its earthy tang, becomes a partner in conversation, loosening tongues and binding friendships while respecting the confidentiality of such gatherings. Amid this clandestine assembly, quirky nuances occasionally break through. An officer makes an exaggerated mockery of an outlandish story once told to them by a questionable merchant, earning muffled laughter a brief, shared amusement lightening the burden of the evening's gravitas. Historians still argue whether these secret banquets carried more weight than the colorful public festivals. Were these an arena where the mighty dared to reveal their vulnerabilities against the backdrop of strategy games and calculated risks? As the night deepens, a scholarly debate emerges on the role of subtle cultural exchanges within these meetings. The art of negotiation here is as much about imparting power as it is about absorbing the knowledge of those seated across. As tea from the Chinese frontier is shared alongside Mediterranean olives, an unspoken understanding passes through. This is the pulse of empire, not weapons, but strategic integration. A layered tapestry of musicians plays softly in the background, their tunes more somber than lively. The music's quiet elegance complements the subdued nature of the gathering, a quiet reminder of the delicate ballet playing out in realms unseen by most. The banquet slowly unwinds as intentions are laid bare, veiled in agreements that will surface only later in tales and treaties. As you glance around, you observe the subtle exchanges, a well-timed nod, a deliberate pause. These all tell their own stories beneath the spoken diplomatic dialogue. Dawn slowly begins to seep into the edges of the yurt, the gathering's end drawing near. Those present leave with more than just a taste of the night's delicacies. They carry back into the daylight the seeds of new alliances and whispered resolutions, each gleaned from a night of secrecy and shallow gestures concealed within deep meanings. You watch the chosen ones depart into the first light of morning, their silhouettes blending into the infinite tapestry of the steppe, carrying the essence of whispered promises and calculated foresight. It is here, in these secret banquets, that the soul of Mongol diplomacy thrums quieter than seen festivals, yet resonating with equal, if not greater, importance. These gatherings remind you that history isn't always crafted in bright public spectacles or celebrated on grand stages. Sometimes, it emerges softly like footprints left upon an uncharted path, following contours unseen, explored only by the brave or the wary, in the hidden reaches of the night. As the soft light of dawn unfurls across the vast Mongolian landscape, the resonant echoes of a night spent in hushed negotiation and covert gatherings slowly fade away. In their place rises a different kind of melodies sound of music breathing life into the waking world of the Mongol court. Here, in this unique empire, music is more than mere backdrop. It serves as a vibrant expression of identity, unity, and cultural exchange. Walking among the tents, you immediately recognize the rich tapestry of sounds. The air vibrates with the haunting harmonies of throat singing, where skilled vocalists produce multiple notes simultaneously, a technique that mirrors the land's vastness, a sonic reflection of the winds that race across the steppe. The singer's voice dances with the rhythm of the earth, weaving ethereal patterns that rise and fall like the stories of these resilient people. Near the central square of the camp, a group of musicians gathers to play the morin khor, often called the horsehead fiddle, an instrument as iconic as it is evocative. Its silhouette, with a carved horse head, pays homage to the animal so central to the Mongol way of life. The strings release deep, resonant sounds, reminiscent of a horse's whinny, that echo through the clear morning air, grounding the soul in a temporal link between past and present. The morning air is crisp, yet the warmth generated by this musical symphony envelops the listeners, inviting them to join in a communal experience transcending time and space. In this moment, the music serves as a bridge, uniting diverse backgrounds and languages, its universal language understood in every corner of the empire. Amid this orchestration, a fringe tidbit captures your ear, a playful melody from a nearby instrument known as the Kazakh dombra, a two-stringed lute that adds a lighter, playful voice to the gathering. Its rapid, cheerful notes trace out lively tales of mischief and merriment, a contrast to the deep resonance of the fiddle. The dombra player's fingers dance across the strings in a blur, inviting those around to sway, clap, or tap along, a spontaneous reminder of the joy found amidst the austere duties of court life. Here, even the grimmest faces soften, breaking into smiles, acknowledging the gift of unbridled joy music can bring. Even within this vibrant music scene, historians still debate the origin and influence of particular musical elements. Some argue over whether the music was more influenced by the Persians, Turks, or other neighboring cultures, while others believe it emerged independently. Despite these debates, what remains undeniable is the magnetic power of this musical fusion, which continually draws people together in harmony. As you stand absorbed in this auditory realm, you notice the musicians trading stories through song, a dialogue without words, sharing tales of distant lands and storied travels. It's a dynamic exchange of cultural heritage, each song flowing seamlessly into the next, like a river guided by the contours of time. The tempo shifts as the day unfolds, drawing in melodies from the distant corners of the empire, from India's tablas to China's distinct flute seach, contributing its unique voice to the choir. Every note played is a testament to how the Mongol Empire, in its vastness, collected and celebrated the diversity within its borders. As the morning matures, the songs taper off, gradually replaced by the familiar clamor of court life resuming its unrelenting rhythm. Yet the essence of the music lingers in the air, an unspoken reminder of the shared human experience witnessed here today. Continuing your stroll, there's a newfound lightness in your step-a-pulse aligned with the vibrations of a culture that speaks, through music, the stories of its land and its people. In this interplay of sound and silence, you find an enduring connection with history, invisible yet persistent, much like the echoes that continue to weave through the air and settle gently into the heart. In the Mongol court, each day begins and closes with the subtle music of life, a symphony both grand and understated, keeping pace with the heartbeat of an empire. As you leave the gathering behind, you carry with you not just the sound, but the memory, the undeniable allure of a people united by song and spirit, echoing across time and earthen-bound mythologies, composing the ever-unfolding narrative of the Mongols within the vast theater of the world. In the spirited ambience that resonates at the Mongol court, you find your interest piqued by the undercurrent of strategic amusements that dot the daily life of its nobility. Woven through the cultural fabric of this dynamic empire are games and gambits, a reflection of the intricate dance of minds that bring both diversion and deeper insights into the world of diplomacy and strategy. Wander across a sunlit courtyard, where the morning's light delicately highlights each resting stone and whip of grass, and you'll encounter groups of nobles and esteemed visitors engrossed in games of skill and wits. The air is lively with anticipation, punctuated by the soft clatter of wooden pieces moving across checkerboard surfaces. Here, Shatar, a Mongolian variant of the chess game known to many, unfolds as an intellectual battlefield, showcasing the martial prowess and strategic acumen of the participants. In a culture defined by mobility and expansion, it's little wonder that chess holds such a prominent place. Each move reflects the precision and patience echoed in the broader military strategies that underpinned Mongol expansionism. As you lean closer, observing the intricate layouts of pawns and knights crafted from carved bone, you sense the weight each piece carries, a microcosm of broader geopolitical plays beyond the board. Historians still argue over the exact origins of chess, whether its roots lie in Persia or India, is a subject of continued debate. Within the Mongol court, however, this game represents more than its colorful pieces. It embodies the tactical brilliance prized by the nomadic empire. It offers an opportunity for intellectual combat, a chance to outmaneuver opponents with calm deliberation or insightful foresight. Among these serious games, a quirkier competitor surfaces within the tented shadows, a lesser-known game called Ulu's Cot. This involves tossing game pieces across a circular field marked with imaginary territories that players must cleverly conquer. Its whimsical rules are born of imaginative storytelling, interwoven with demonstration of puzzle-solving ability, adding a light-hearted respite from the intense focus of Shatar. An older player, whispering conspiratorially, shares a quirky tale. Ulu's Hot is believed to be inspired by legends, where the gods themselves chuckled as mortals blindly attempted to map forgotten lands. Whether or not this is factually rooted seems less relevant, as the laughing faces of the players honor the spirit of joy and camaraderie fostered through every round. While the players tussle with challenging strategies, a powerful, unspoken reality unfolds, a subtle reflection of court politics and tactical alliances. Knowledge shared and gained in these lighter moments proves invaluable. Yet, needs must be cloaked in the informality of conversation and laughter. At a nearby game, whispers of a recent negotiation echo around the board. These moments, although ostensibly entertainment, thrive within court life as strategic exchanges mirroring and informing the complexities of alliances negotiated in solemn meetings. Each pawn captured, each territory claimed, is a rehearsal for the realm's reality, where decisions shaped entire domains. Yet, the allure of these games is not reserved solely for the nobility. As you venture further, you see children playing merrily, emulating the grown-ups they admire. Witness firsthand how the games cultivate the future stewards of the empire. Young minds learn the delicate balance of weight and decision, agility and cunning preparation for the roles they may inherit in a landscape defined by constant metamorphosis. In this vibrant court, where the echoes of past victories blend with the ambitions of tomorrow, such feats of cunning and intellect bestow not only entertainment, but the deeper understanding of a life perpetually in flux, a world ever on the move, resonate with ideas exported and imported on the winds of change. So, as you reluctantly draw away from the game's tapestry of playful repartees and quiet contemplation, you realize that within every strategy unfurled, within every plotted gambit, lies the enduring spirit of the Mongol court. Here, strategy is an invaluable currency, and games serve as more than a mere distraction. They are the fabric interwoven with the threads of destiny, an exploration essential as any conquest or treaty, written in moves, felt through outcomes, lived through ages. This rich tradition of games and gambits shapes not only the intellect, but the destiny of an empire, a chronicle told on boards of wood and bone, inscribed through generations, a reflection of the intricate tapestries we weave in our shared stories of mankind. Beyond the clamor of strategic games and the grand feasts of the Mongol court lies a world less visible yet equally vibrant, a world that revolves around the multifaceted lives of the women at the court. Stepping into this realm is akin to crossing into an ethereal space where tradition and subtle influence converge against the backdrop of history. As you wander through the intricately decorated quarters set aside for the women of the court, you find yourself enrobed in an ambiance of rich, velvety fragrances. The scent of flowers mingled with exotic spices creates an intimate olfactory tapestry. This space, imbued with warmth and elegance, shimmers under the glow of ornate silk lamps, casting gentle patterns across the floors and tapestries alike. Adorned in exuberant silks, the women move with a fluid grace, their garments bearing intricate embroidery that tells of their station and clan affiliations. Each thread weaves a story as rich as the history it represents, a silent testimony to the balance of power, beauty, and symbolism. You notice the gentle clinking of delicate jewelry accompanying every movement, adding an auditory layer to this vivid spectacle of form and color. In the Mongol court, women wield influence often unseen, their prowess not defined by the battlefield, but rather by the harmonious orchestration of familial alliances and the subtle art of negotiation. Take, for instance, the Empresses and Khatunwais, and instinctively strategic, these women orchestrate domestic matters with precision, contriving marriages and alliances that fortify the empire's foundations. As you listen closely, whispers of tales swirl through the room, stories of women who have played pivotal roles in the empire's affairs. Historians still argue over the extent of power wielded by women in the Mongol court, debating whether they were mere instruments of familial politics or active participants in shaping history. Here, you're inclined to believe the latter. For within this sanctuary of opulent design and reflective beauty, you perceive a matrix of influence as solid as the thrones from which emperors ruled. In one corner, a quiet scene unfolds as a group of women engage in the delicate art of decorative embroidery. Their nimble fingers dance across the fabric, creating patterns of astonishing intricacy. This labor of love serves dual purposes. While it adorns, it also narrates stitched narratives revealing allegories of conquest, prosperity, and divine protection. Among these delicate pursuits, a quaint tale surfaces that adds a touch of whimsy to the otherwise solemn ambiance. There's laughter as someone recounts the legend of a young seamstress who, once upon a time, managed to secure a brilliant marriage match for her sister by cleverly embedding a secret romantic message within a tapestry destined for the Khan himself, a testament to how intricate talents could shape destinies. In a nearby room, poetry whispers between walls, draped in Velveta discourse on love, loss, and valor woven into the poetic traditions that have endured across generations. The women partake in poetic duels, sparring with words rather than swords, another testament to their intellectual prowess. The influence of women in the Mongol court extends into the sphere of healthcare as well. You'll notice herbal concoctions being prepared with deft hand mixtures that soothe the ailments of both body and mind, prepared with knowledge passed down through countless generations. The air bears the soothing aroma of sage and chamomile, a gentle balm rippling through time's unyielding currents. This world within the yurt enclaves unfurls at a leisurely pace, shrouded in a comforting serenity that contrasts with the bustling epicenter of male-dominated territory. As you stroll through this sanctuary, it's impossible not to sense the undeniable resilience and adaptability woven through conversations and illustrious pursuits. Even in the shadow of towering empires, they embody an influence formidable in its own right, a quiet power that often lays the groundwork for the larger, more visible strokes of history. As the day wanes and shadows lengthen, the activities within these quarters draw to a soft close. The echo of laughter and steadfast companionship fills the gentle crevices left by history's grander strokes. Here, behind the opulent veils, the women at the Mongol court continue to preserve an enduring flame, each a keeper of ancient lore and a custodian of future legacies. This dimension of court life, though less overtly celebrated, remains an intrinsic part of the empire's heart, a testament to the intricate tapestry of human experience woven through time by countless hands, known and unknown, ever trailing behind the veil. In this profound quietude, beneath the weight of history, the rhythm of life persists, embracing continuity and transformation in harmony. As twilight cloaks the Mongol court in a tender embrace, a subtle shift occurs. Fires are stoked to life, casting luminous patterns that dance along the grand tents. The air grows thick with anticipation, and the gentle hum of whispered excitement heralds the arrival of skilled bards and storytellers. In this ethereal glow, tales of yore take shape as if woven from the very fibers of the night. In the central gathering space, woven rugs create an intimate amphitheater where courtiers, travelers, and dignitaries sit enwrapped, drawn into the hypnotic cadence of the storytellers' voices. Cleverly spun narratives flow like melodies from lips accustomed to the nuances of performance, a reminder that storytelling is an art as ancient as humanity itself, a thread linking generations in continuous dialogue. Perched on a decorative stool draped in ornate furs, the bard begins with a deep, resonant voice that commands both silence and rapt attention. The initial words form an invisible thread, drawing together the audience with tales that transport them to epochs past. Myth and history converge in the tales recounted tonight, weaving a rich tapestry of battles fought, loves lost, and destinies forged in the crucible of time. The bard recounts a mainstream tale well known across the empire, the heroic adventures of Genghis Khan, whose rise to power was as meteoric as it was legendary. He speaks of the man as both conqueror and visionary, using tenacity to bind disparate tribes into a formidable entity. Genghis Khan's tale is punctuated with stirring imagery and rhythmic alliteration that fills the tent with a palpable sense of urgency and valor. Yet, interwoven with these heroic feats are tales lesser known, those quirky or fringe stories that spark movement in the crowd, a fleeting gasp, a stifled chuckle. The teller regales the audience with a tale of a peculiar decree by the great Khan himself, an edict purportedly issued to promote merriment among his generals that required them to develop a sense of humor, lest their souls sour from the weight of conquest. Amid these storytellers' vibrant narratives, a gentle competition arises known as the Battle of Epic Tongues. Historians still argue whether this was an actual competitive tradition or merely mythologized through time, but tonight it thrives as truth. In this ceremonial clash, bards exchange poetic barbs like a duel, fought not with swords, but with the finesse of language. The razor-sharp wit ignites the crowd, each barb met with collective admiration or affectionate ribbing. While the narratives unfold, you can't help but notice how keenly the audience hangs on every word, allowing themselves to be swept away by the bittersweet combination of nostalgia and hope carried in the storyteller's cadence. Each tale, belted or whispered, carries the weight of shared history and paths walked, paths that converge here under the shimmering canopy of stars. The role of these storytellers extends beyond simple entertainment. They serve as curators of memory, guarding ancient lore and preserving identity, reminding all that even in an era driven by expansion and conquest, the heart of existence rests in these shared stories. Conversations and identities are framed in harmony. Storytelling, after all, is the heartbeat of culture, pulsing steadily beneath the grandeur of ancient Mongol governance. As the night unfolds, the bard's voice eventually softens, yielding to sparser accompaniment of the Morin Kur. The gentle notes string through the fading tales with delicate grace, soothing the gathered souls after the intensity of epic sagas told. Here, within the safety of this moment, legacy thrives. Reluctantly, the evening's final tale draws to a close with the tender whispers of tomorrow's promise snuggling into every heart present. The fire's flames now dim to embers, sprinkling their warmth over lingering faces. You stand at the edge of this quiet conclusion, feeling the soft glow of stories shared tangible, yet untouchably an understanding born from centuries of human connection. Laughter and heroism, sorrow and triumphal recede into the darkness ever so slowly, leaving behind an imprint that resonates across minds and lives. As you step away, one realizes that within the power of these ancient bards, the core of the Mongol spirit is kept alive, a vibrant chord sung between worlds, a tapestry of triumphs and tales, each thread woven lovingly to honor the endurance of the human heart and the unbroken narrative of time itself. As the tales of the bards fade into the hushed shadows of the Mongol night, a new day unfolds with a distinctly different allure drawing you toward the architectural wonders that make up the heart of the Mongol court. Here, nestled within the vastness of the steppe, rise structures replete with the grandeur of power and the whisper of cultures intertwined. As you walk toward these impressive structures, the first rays of dawn illuminate the intricate designs and craftsmanship that define the Mongolian architectural heritage. The scent of pine from the wooden beams melds with the fresh, earthy smell of the morning dew, welcoming you into a world where ambition and ingenuity form the cornerstones. Chief among these marvels is the great jir or yurta circular, collapsible tent originally designed for mobility, yet now, in its imperial form, reveals the complexity and splendor befitting the Mongol elite. The yurts here are grander in scale, cloaked in layers of fine felt and lavishly embroidered silk. Their interiors, lined with tapestries and glittering relics, display an affluence that the Mongols found amidst the ebbs and flows of their nomadic life. Entering one of these yurts is like stepping into a repository of story, a vivid testimony to the empire's expansion and the diverse influences it absorbed along the way. The fine rugs from Persia cover the ground, while Chinese porcelain stands alongside Byzantine glassware on the low tables that punctuate the spacious interior. As you absorb the atmospheric richness, your attention is drawn upwards to the intricately carved wooden latticework, a geometric puzzle that speaks to the Mongol penchant for detailed artistry. Sunlight spills through this latticework, tracing patterns that dance across the room like ephemeral art. One cannot discuss Mongol architecture without mentioning the more permanent structures that sprang up during the era of Kublai Khan. Inspired by grand visions, Kublai's court in Shangdu, Xanadu, became a blend of natural beauty and architectural innovation. Historians still debate the extent to which Kublai integrated Confucian principles into his designs, but the influence of Chinese architecture on Mongol structures is undeniably profound. One striking feature is the use of the pagoda-style roof, its layered eaves gracefully extending toward the heavens, a tangible expression of blending earth with sky, echoing the Mongol appreciation for balance and harmony. The presence of such grandiose structures symbolizes a Mongol ambition not just to traverse lands, but to etch a permanent marker upon them. In another part of the court, the lesser-known yet captivating Ortu stands tall, a series of way stations scattered across the empire, instrumental in maintaining the vast communication network known as the Yam. At these stations, surrounded by simple yet efficient designs, couriers would rest and replenish, ensuring messages raced across the thousands of miles with speed that astonished the empire's many rivals. A delightful touch of quirkiness emerges in the designs created for entertainment, the leaping gazelles carved into column bases or fantastical creatures frozen mid-frolic along the rafters in the ceremonial halls. These fanciful details provide a window into the Mongol imagination, where architectural stoicism finds harmony with the lightness of spirit. In this contrast of transient and enduring, the Mongol architecture encapsulates the dynamic nature of their history, a dance between impermanence and legacy. Every column and beam tells a story of a people who have moved mountains and molded landscapes, integrating strength and adaptability in their most intimate spaces. As the morning transitions to afternoon, vivid images of these architectural triumphs remain impressed upon the fabric of your consciousness. The blending of cultures, trading of ideas, and shared innovations come alive in each structure, narrating a non-verbal history as engrossing as any epic tale. These architectural marvels of the Mongol court are more than grand historical testaments. They are living embodiments of a people who celebrated diversity and ingenuity, their structures, like compasses pointing toward a future crafted in collaboration. And as you step from the protective embrace of yurt and hall into the endless horizon of the land beyond, you carry the weight and wonder of these space testimonies to an empire that reached for the earth and sky in equal measure. In essence, the Mongols' architectural legacy resonates loudly within every unique structure. You behold the enduring spirit of adaptation and glory, enfolding your senses in the universal dance of land and legacy, trend and tradition, ambition and artistry, a story bound as strongly as the timber's finest beam. Amid the majesty of Mongol architecture, you find yourself weaving into the delicate threads of cultural and artistic exchange that flourished between the Mongol court and Persia. This connection, rich with possibility and innovation, forms an intricate tapestry of influence, reflecting the grandeur of an empire that embraced diversity as an asset. As you stroll through the artistic quarters, artisans hunched over their workbenches, the vibrant interplay of Persian artistry becomes immediately apparent. The air is fragrant with the scent of rich dye saffron, indigo, and madder, creating a colorful sensory palette as vivid as the intricate designs they produce. These pigments breathe life into fabrics and manuscripts, turning each into a masterpiece of form and color. Imagine the graceful flow of calligraphy, its elegant curves and slanted lines replicating the beauty of penned speech, a gift borrowed from Persian traditions that the Mongols have made their own. This art form graces scrolls and banners hanging in stately yurts, where the poetic and the pragmatic coexist, articulated in balanced symbolism. Within this courtly world, there's a remarkable fusion of imagery and decorative arts, iterating themes dear to both Persian and Mongol hearts. Miniature paintings flourish, depicting landscapes as enchanting as they are detailed, infused with human figures engaged in everything from hunting to celestial dialogues. These tiny worlds encapsulate the vast expanses of life, visual echoes of a harmonious coexistence of natural and human spheres. Elsewhere, you find layers of ornate Persian tiles lining interior spaces, their delicate geometric patterns radiating a cosmic balancia, reflection of the Mongols' appropriation of nature's elegance and order, artfully transposed into courtly aesthetics. The glazed sheen of these tiles catches the light, playing with luminescence like a prism refracting the many hues of cultural interplay. Historians still debate the extent and depth of Persian influence on the Mongol arts, contemplating whether the Mongols infused Persian style into their own or transformed their aesthetic practice to reflect Persian mastery. Yet, as you witness the vivid intricacies of metal workagle, the camel motifs etched lovingly alongside Mongol warriors astride horses, you realize that there emerges a distinct cultural alchemy that defies singular categorization. A mention of Persian influence would be remiss without acknowledging the literary treasures gifted from this cross-pollination. You overhear a spirited retelling from the Shahnameh, Persia's epic of kings, whose tales of valor and cosmic justice complement Mongol sensibilities well. This exchange of stories serves as intellectual currency, reinforcing shared heroism while celebrating the unique nuances of each tradition. Through these exchanges, you see Mongol court culture painted not with a single broad stroke but with many brushstrokes, inviting numerous voices into its grand chorus. The art forms collaboratively brewed here, each piece, a testament to the marriage of tradition and innovation, reflect a flexible empire's adaptability. A delightful anecdote emerges amid one artist's chatter, highlighting the quirks that such exchanges occasionally inspire. The artisans discuss a whimsical pattern incorporating silk moths alongside sentinel tigers, concealed within the margins of tapestry borders. A nod to whimsy, yes, but these patterns are meant to bring an element of surprise and joy to their wearers, a gentle encouragement to notice beauty in the smallest folds. In these creations, the Mongol court captures not just the ornamental but the aspirational vision of what is attainable when cultures dance together rather than clash. The elegance and vitality ingrained in each piece hint at the depths of shared human experience, evoking emotions that toward unity and collaboration. Remaining among these artistic masterpieces, you become part of a grander exhibit, reminding us of the limitless potential heralded by shared creativity, a bridge spanning centuries, continents, and hearts. Through contemplation of the artistry brought forth by this fusion, one imagines the possibilities yet to be realized, an ever-evolving representation perched on the cusp of history, poised to guide future generations. The legacy of these Persian influences within the Mongol court, more than mere decor, stands as an enduring reminder, a vibrant narrative threaded not just within canvas and clay, but through time itself, a woven solemnity that leaves an indelible mark upon the soul, warning and welcoming all who venture its path to dream again and again, with hands and hearts open. As the artistic influences of Persia weave into the fabric of Mongol life, the scene shifts gently back to the bustle of courtly proceedings. Here, beneath the expansive sky and the watchful eyes of noble guests, diplomacy wears a brilliantly colorful mask during the festival's intriguing interplay of festivity and strategic finesse that defines the Mongol court's political milieu. The air is filled with an understated tension, woven seamlessly into the fabric of merriment and laughter, as tribal leaders and envoys mix and mingle under the pretense of celebration. The laughter seems light, yet beneath each entertained smile lies the intricate dance of negotiation, a careful composition balancing alliance and advantage. The scent of roasting lamb mingles with the perfume of freshly picked wildflowers, guiding you into this world where diplomacy is as bold and complex as the spices in the air. Step into the heart of these gatherings and witness, firsthand, the subtle art of alliances crafted amid the vibrant backdrop of festive displays. Ceremonial toasts are raised, each spoken word delicately layered with meaning, affirming long-standing agreements or gently probing the feasibility of new partnerships. Every clink of goblets serves as both a celebration and a signature, the unmistakable sound of diplomacy in action. Historians still argue the degree of sincerity behind such ceremonious displays. Were these festivals simply facades for political machinations, or did they foster genuine warmth and bond amongst disparate tribes? Within this kaleidoscope of color and chaos, the reality likely hovers between the two, a delicate equilibrium where the personal and political coexist in harmony. Amid the grandeur and formality, you notice moments that exude unexpected charm. Over by the tables, envoys share anecdotes of cultural peculiarity, tales of ingenious inventions and peculiar customs encountered during their travels. One envoy recounts, to both amusement and bemusement, a distant village's insistence on conducting negotiations entirely in the limericks of their ancestors, a quirky tradition, confounding yet delightful to foreign ears. As midday transitions into afternoon, the art of persuasion unfurls further through tactile exchanges. At the smoking tandoors, freshly baked bread warm and soft serves as a peace offering, its doughy layers peeled in goodwill by those gathered around. Around another corner, gifts of textiles change hands, each thread symbolizing loyalty and exchange. Dare to approach the elders seated beneath shaded canopies, their somber faces lined with the wisdom and experience of decades. Keen observers, they watch as the tapestry of alliances and nuances of conversations unfold before them. Their careful nods and knowing glances guide the younger members of their clans, ensuring they observe the traditions of engagement practiced with surgical precision. Throughout these engagements, a scholarly debate surfaces around a borrowed Persian tradition, the concept of Chahar Shambe Suri, a festive prelude to spring where fire becomes the medium of personal renewal. The Mongols, steeped in reverence for nature, reinterpret this Persian ritual as part of their diplomatic toolkit, where flames cleanse old disagreements and pave the way for renewed partnerships. The fire jumping becomes a metaphorical gesture, a bold leap bridging estrangement once more. Beyond the serious talks, the festive spirit endures in the vivacity of musicians playing upbeat tunes in the background, their melodies a canvas upon which new harmonies might be painted. It is in these curated moments of joy, surrounded by an expansive tapestry of celebrated tribes, that diplomacy finds its strongest foothold, unfolding a legacy that is both enduring and adaptable. As the revelry wears on, you feel the ambient noise settling around you like an old, comforting ledger notes of serious intention interspersed with the lighter tones of camaraderie. Among the vast reaches of the Mongol court, where destiny is measured by the whims of fortune, the art of diplomacy reveals itself as a timeless performance, a ballet of intrigue and inspiration, enriching the empire's core. As you meander from these dazzling displays of strategic assurance, a realization settles: each festival is more than merrymaking. It encapsulates the profound merging of celebration and sovereignty. Here, the legacy thrives a silent dance behind a mask of festivity, where relationships are forged anew, ready to face whatever dawn brings. The Mongol court, in all its vibrant complexity, proves a masterful stage for the endless play of peace and power, a narrative sculpted not just upon treaties and tribute, but deep within the resplendent, dancing heart of celebration. This unique weave of events, more sumptuous than silk, nurtures dreams of possibility, anchoring multitudes in a tapestry of history, endlessly threading beyond the visible horizon. As the vibrant celebrations and subtle diplomacy of the festival begin to wane, your curiosity leads you to a quieter corner of the Mongol court, a place where the mysteries of the cosmos unfold under the vast, dark canvas of the night sky. This is the sanctum of the court astronomers, where ancient knowledge and celestial narratives guide the empire through both the darkness of night and the uncharted realms of strategic decision-making. Imagine the air tinged with the crispness of night, and the faint, intriguing scent of burning herbs, their smoke curling upward, seemingly drawn by the stars themselves. Here, the flicker of candles is subdued by the shimmering brilliance of celestial bodies that crowd the sky, imparting a surreal glow upon the earth below. The Mongol court, sprawling below this astral dome, stands as a testament to both man's architectural prowess and his unyielding quest to understand the heavens. Within this cosmic observatory, the astronomers meticulously chart the stars and planets, their work sketched in faint constellations drawn by hand upon parchment or meticulously etched upon glazed tiles. Their dedication whispers of a learned love for the celestial, an appreciation rooted in the ancient knowledge passed through generations, now intertwined with the Mongols' own mythologies and lore. Historians still argue about the true extent of astronomical influence on Mongol navigation and military strategy. Were the stars merely poetic metaphors for guidance, or did they truly chart the empire's course through the earthly and heavenly realms? These debates shimmer like distant stars, ever philosophical amidst an empirical sky. Gazing up, you might overhear the discussions carried on the night breeze. Here, astrologers exchange theories on the movement of Jupiter or the significance of a solar eclipse. Some speak of aligning celestial paths as analogous to charting effective trade routes, a measure of perspective and precision indispensable for any empire as vast as the Mongols. The more you listen, the more you realize how the cosmos becomes a canvas for cultural synthesis. Arabian Nights speak through elaborate star charts, while Chinese observatories influence the Mongols' astrological calendars. The heavens serve as universal motifs representing unity and destiny, echoing across geographical and historical divides. These discussions of the celestial are adorned with a whimsical anecdote about astrologers reading the behavior of horses during pivotal moments, a quirky blend of terrestrial and cosmic indicators forming a unique Mongol horoscopy. Through these cosmic observations, the fading comet becomes as significant as the advice given at courtesign to be contemplated, a harbinger of change or fortune to be discussed over cups of warming Kumis as the night stretches on. As you learn more about their art, you appreciate the gravitas afforded to these celestial cartographers, keepers of tomorrow, whose wisdom spans eras and empires. A gentle look to the horizon, and you see the dawning of a new age within this timeless practice. Conversations ignite around the potential of celestial events, shaping this evolving world, sparking dreams of predicting tomorrow's destiny by merely unfurling one's soul into the cosmos's embrace. And in their leisurely, hypnotic patterns, the night sky reveals its secrets to those prepared to listen. Backlit by the universe's silent orchestrations, considerations arise not only of monarchy and mandate but the wonder of shared legacy, of humanity's collective yearning cradled within the stars above. Roaming from this cosmic court, you carry forward an expanded understanding, a realization that history's chapters can be authored by celestial hands as much as mortal ones. Here, celestial navigation finds a natural ally in human curiosity, mapping not merely lands to traverse but skies to explore, a legacy as expansive as the universe itself. The celestial dance of history unfurls unerringly across this Mongol narrative, an ever-present reminder of how space and time connect us all. In this celestial embrace, a deeper resonance is forget, a magnificent echo, transversing time and distance, inspiring new heights in those willing to take aim at the stars while their feet remain firmly planted on the ground. And as you step away, earthbound yet dreaming, the night sky kindly follows, hovering like an eternal guide, whispering tales etched across the firmament of her present, ever unifying, ever whispering secrets held between the stars. With the celestial whispers still echoing in your mind, the morning unfolds with the lively bustle of a trade fair, an integral part of life at the Mongol court. Here, in the spirited exchanges and vibrant stalls spread across the encampment, merchants from distant lands converge, offering a tantalizing glimpse into the world beyond the steppe. The atmosphere is a cornucopia of color and clamor, filled with the heady aromas of freshly baked flatbreads and aromatic spices carried on the steady breeze. The air thrums with the excitement of negotiation, punctuated by the laughter of children playing amidst the throngs and the rhythmic clatter of camel harnesses. Standing amidst this cosmopolitan bazaar, you see the empire's heart beat through an intricate network of commerce. The stalls are laden with silk from China, intricately woven carpets from Persia, and precious gems from the Indian subcontinent. You find silver jewelry glinting alongside heaping bowls of amber and jade, all testament to the empire's extensive trade routes that reach like tendrils across continents. As you stroll the dusty lanes between stalls, the art of trade unfurls with every step. Conversations hum with a blend of voices and languages, each twang and cadence a melody of cultural harmonies. Traders weave their native tongues with the shared language of commerce, effortlessly negotiating deals that ripple outward across the empire. Mongol currency jingles into leather pouches in exchange for bolts of fabric and spices measured out with brass-scaled precision, the weight of commerce heavy with expectation. In these transactions, there is more than the movement of goods. There's an undercurrent of exchange, of trust and rapport continually cultivated between peoples. Historians still argue over the full extent of Mongol influence in fostering the Silk Road's rebirth. Were they pioneers of globalization or accidental custodians of ancient trade corridors? Among the spice-scented air, where silk whispers and tactile elegance about ancient travels, you feel the truth lies somewhere entwined within these manifold perspectives. Every stall tells its own story, offering novelties and staples alike. The quirk of these exchanges emerges as traders exhibit goods whose origins lie not in practical necessity, but in mere whimsy. An alabaster bird from the distant Mediterranean, a peculiar item traded more for the curiosity it invokes than mere utility. Lingering here, you sense that trade at the Mongol court surpasses economic incentivization. It becomes a cultural exchange that leaves an indelible mark on all participants. In the delicate balance between negotiation and camaraderie lies the secret to this flourishing market, a prevailing sense that the Mongol Empire has become a crossroads for learning and creativity. As the day matures, laughter spreads among traders relaxing between transactions, sharing news and tales. You might overhear a charming recollection of a far-flung city or a humorous misadventure endured along the treacherous caravan route. A shared camaraderie in tales of dust and discovery. In this vibrant blend of cultures, a scholarly exchange takes place. See a thoughtful discourse on the mystical origins of the goods displayed, exploring the artisan's secrets and materials' histories. These conversations celebrate the bonds woven through the goods traded, uniting people, ideas, and cultures in a rhythm as old and enduring as the land beneath their feet. The sun's warmth begins to wane, marking the day's gradual closing. The fair remains a tapestry interlaced with voices and purposes, at once a reminder and a promise of what connections through trade can inspire. Here, amid the merchant stalls, you witness the underlying unity of mankind's desire to create, connect, and sustain shared narratives in peaceful coexistence. As the sun dips toward the horizon, you leave the textured crescendo of the market, the lingering echo of trade forever fixed in your memory. The Mongol court stands as a beacon of the possible, the mind and spirit's union articulated through the vibrant pulse of trade and culture. The day's warmth fades slowly, leaving behind the soft hush of twilight as its legacy, the voices of merchants and their sought-after treasures resting harmoniously beneath the endless expanse of sky. As you wander on, the story of the Mongol court tradesman continues to play through you, a testament to the enduring human spirit, forever seeking exchange, understanding, and unity. As night falls once more on the sprawling expanse of the Mongol court, you find yourself drawn into the vivid world of rituals steeped in tradition, a world where cycles of renewal and blessing are intertwined with everyday life, echoing the rhythm of nature itself. In the cool evening air, the subtle scent of juniper smoke weaves through the encampment, accompanied by the flickering glow of fires that light the way to a sacred space. It is here that the Mongols partake in rituals of renewal, drawing the threads of past wisdom into the fabric of present life, a timeless dance of reverence and revitalization. Gathered around a central fire pit, the warmth of the flames wards off the encroaching cool of the night as the ritual unfolds. Participants, draped in garments that blend functionality with ceremonial splendor, make offerings to Tengrith, eternal sky god, and one of the preeminent deities in the Mongol pantheon. These offerings, often elements of the earth and symbols of life, range from dairy products to finely woven textiles, each hitched with a wish carried skyward. The ceremony holds layers of meaning, encompassing elements both mythic and personal. Here, individuals express gratitude for past fortunes while whispering prayers for forthcoming blessings. As the rhythmic chanting of the participants fills the air, a harmonious echo of the hawk-like calls of the steppe rises alongside. You feel the serene power of communal intention, the collective desire to maintain harmony with the world's natural and spiritual realms. Historians still discuss whether these renewal rituals were central to consolidating the Mongol societal structure or primarily served as reflections of indigenous superstitions. This debate recedes into insignificance as you observe the profound impact these gatherings have, fostering a shared bond and reaffirming the Mongols' connection to cycles of time and existence. During the ceremony, One might be privy to whimsical tales of the sky, spirits, mischievous beings spending their days riding upon clouds or playing tricks with lightning bolts. Delightful in their imaginative whimsy, these stories underscore the Mongols' cultural lore that dances with reality and legend. Standing within the circle of participants, you can feel how the ritual binds the community together, creating an enduring tapestry of shared intent. This sacred act of renewal predates the presence of cities and empires, hearkening back to the ancestral unity that sat at the heart of Mongol identity. Throughout the evening, the interplay of light and shadow reflects the transformative power of this gathering. The dancing flames carve out shifting patterns that speak to life's complexity, the balance between light and dark, creation and destruction, known and unknown. As the ritual gradually subsides, a quieter phase follows, allowing for personal reflection and contemplation. Melodious notes from a flute drift gently around, ushering in a meditative stillness, a reminder that, amid the sweeping expanse of the steps, renewal is as much internal as it is external. Before departing the sacred space, participants share in a final act of unity, a communal feast where simple, nourishing food is enjoyed in accompaniment to soft laughter and quiet conversations. These closing moments offer space for gratitude and acknowledgement of the bonds that renew strength, purpose, and conjoin paths forward. As you leave the ceremony behind, the faint outline of coniferous pines dot the horizon, their statuesque forms a reminder of nature's perpetual renewal mirrored in human aspirations. Walking into the night, you carry with you an indelible imprint of a community that thrives in its unity, ever resonating the vitality of connection and regeneration. In this cyclical dance of renewal celebration, constant with the moon's waxing and waning, lies a timeless rhythm, marked by meaningful gatherings, a reminder that every ending holds the seed of beginning, and every moment offers the promise of return. The story of the Mongol court continues unfurling like the pages of sacred scripture, vibrant and alive, beneath the endless sky, a testament to the resilience of spirit and the eternal quest for balance and harmony in the tapestry of human existence. As the tranquil effects of the renewal rituals echo softly through the Mongol court, the cool night air is filled with the hum of intellectual inquiry, drawing you to a different kind of gathering, an assembly of scholars engaged in debates that illuminate the court's sprawling tent city with ideas as vibrant as the morning sun. This is the domain of wisdom seekers and philosophers, where the currency of knowledge is traded with zeal. Under the soft glow of lanterns, inside a grand yurt serving as a makeshift forum, scholars, poets, and thinkers exchange insights that span the expanse of human understanding. You step into this intellectual salon just as the air outside cools to a crisp, leaving behind the faintest trace of winter's approach. Emblems of academia are framed by the yurt's richly patterned walls. Scrolls adorned with graceful calligraphy spill abstract thoughts onto tables, while maps illustrating distant frontiers capture the cartographic artistry of the age. Scholars from varied lands, China, the Islamic realms, Byzantium, sit on woven cushions, engaged in lively conversation, their dialogues filled with a blend of certainty and inquiry. Historians still debate the extent to which scholarly discourse influenced Mongolian policy decisions. Were these discussions critical to shaping the empire, or merely indulgences for the intellectually curious? Regardless, it's evident that the Mongols valued education not only for its practical merits but as a wellspring of innovative ideas that enriched their already diverse culture. You observe as a session unfolds a debate on governance. Here, ideas from Confucian philosophy cross swords with more pragmatic Mongol concepts, the participants' gestures as animated as their exchanges. One elder challenges the embrace of Western methodologies, citing traditional Mongol wisdom that frames leadership not in laws alone, but in the rhythms of nature and harmony with the land. Another scholar introduces a controversial idea plucked from the annals of Aristotle, sparking both intrigue and raised eyebrows among the assembly. Each argument evokes a fresh point of reflection, revealing the blend of skepticism and open-mindedness that defines this gathering's spirit. Among these elaborate discussions, a quirky tidbit arises from the well of collective memory, a competition loved among scholars, known as Kutog's Riddle, where riddlers employ their sharpest wit to devise and solve puzzles reflecting philosophical conundrums or hypothetical law. The contest furnishes intellectual nourishment, punctuating the serious debates with laughter-provoked insights. Nearby, a group of alchemists holds a smaller, parallel conversation, intrigued by the possibility of transforming commonplace materials into gold, a pursuit rich with mystical and scientific inquiry. As they lean over beakers and fire-lit retorts, discussing spiritual interpretations alongside rudimentary chemical principles, they reveal the layers of knowledge and aspiration interwoven throughout their pursuits. In this intellectual cocoon, an exchange between poets presents its own moment of beauty. Their verses capture the soul's journey tethered both to the empire and broader existence woven in words that transcend time, evoking a shared humanity that echoes across lands and ages. As the night deepens, the fervor of these debates softens into gentler reflections. The scholars, weary from the discourse, recline on their cushions, lingering over the nuanced interpretations and potentialities unspooled in earlier hours. Melodious notes from a lute thread through the retreating conversations, lending a comforting closure to the night's exploration. Venturing from this arena of thought into the clearer air beyond, you carry with you a renewed appreciation for the vibrant exchange of ideas and how they feed the empire's intellectual soul. The scholars' debates, more than intellectual exercises, reveal a tapestry woven by knowledge and introspection, a reflection of humanity's perseverance to grasp the essence of what it means to live, govern, and dream. In this blend of scholarly pursuit and philosophical musings, you find an enduring legacy, a persistent dialogue resounding across tented halls and textured landscapes, echoing through time with questions yet to be unraveled, stories yet to be told, answers yet to be uncovered. As you step further away, the conversation's chorus, fading gracefully into the night whisper, promises of new dawns born from the alchemy of knowledge, poised to illuminate paths as vast and boundless as the empire itself, beckoning you forward on the endless journey of discovery. In the heart of the Mongol court, where the vibrant intellectual exchanges fuel a lively atmosphere, the pulse of the empire is marked in subtle shifts of the seasons. Each passing phase brings with it a distinct change in rhythm, with celebrations and rituals adapting to honor the shifting landscapes and the omnipresent dance between people and nature. Spring heralds renewal as gentle breezes awaken the steppe, and the land bursts forth in blooms of brilliant wildflowers, dotting the vast expanse with vibrant colors. In this season, the Mongol court is infused with a palpable sense of anticipation and rejuvenation. The scent of flowering plants mingles with the earthy aroma of fresh rain, invigorating all who dwell here. Spring festivals honor this renewal with ceremonies that pay homage to the fertility of the earth and the cycle of life itself. A kaleidoscope of colors fills the yurts and courtyards, with tapestries and garments capturing the essence of spring's vitality. Dancers twirl with abandon, their motions echoing the regenerative pulse coursing through the land, inviting all to join in the celebration of new beginnings. As spring gives way to the warmth of summer, the court takes on a more robust, lively energy. The days stretch long and golden, bathing the land in sunlight that seems endless. It is a time for competitions of skill and strength, horse races and archery contests, drawing participants from across the empire. The hum of activity fills the air, alive with the spirit of camaraderie and challenge, accompanied by the sweet scent of ripened grains and sun-warmed earth. In summer, the nomadic heart beats in rhythm with the sun's vigor, families taking respite in shaded valleys and rivers that offer cool relief. Ambassadors from distant lands arrive with gifts and tributes, further saturating the court's melting pot of cultures, enriching the tapestry of alliances woven through shared feasts and revelry. Transitioning to autumn, the harvest season begins, and the Mongol court honors this time with gratitude for abundance. The rich, fragrant aroma of freshly threshed grain mingles with the sweet, earthy tones of root vegetables and wild game that fill banquet tables. It is a time for communal feasting and storytelling, where past victories are recounted and future ambitions take shape under the mellow golden hues of harvest moons. Amid this gratitude lies an acknowledgement of the intricate balance between prosperity and toil, a reflection of the broader tapestry of life, marked by preparation for the impending chill of winter. The court's pace slows slightly, leaving behind the fevered edge of summer's competitive spirit for quieter, more introspective moments. Historians still argue about the centrality of seasonal festivals in reinforcing Mongol unity and identity. Whether these celebrations were a means to muster collective spirit or a reflective pause in the empire's campaign cycles is a point of contention. Nevertheless, experiencing these times feels as if the seasons themselves weave invisible threads that bind the empire with resilience and adaptability. As the shadows lengthen with the arrival of winter, the Mongol steppe transforms into a serene, snow-clad expanse. The air turns crisp and cold, and the court retreats into the warmth of their yurts, gathering around fires where stories become the lifeblood of long, quiet evenings. The fragrance of burning wood creates a comforting cocoon, alongside the rich, hearty stews that provide sustenance and embrace through the stark season. Winter solstice celebrations offer a time for reflection and hope, where the return of the sun is anticipated with a mix of reverence and joy. In the hush of winter, the Mongol court embodies a different kind of strength rooted in reflection, community, and the precious renewal of spirit, as they look toward the light of seasons yet to come. With each turn of the season, the portrait of the Mongol court is painted anew, enriched with the hues and textures of an empire that breathes in harmony with nature's inherent rhythm. Each celebration, whether grand or intimate, encapsulates not just the essence of survival, but of the human spirit's ability to adapt, celebrate, and flourish in an ever-changing world. As you take your leave from this seasonal symphony, you carry with you the echoes of these traditions, a reminder of life's ebbs and flows, the elegance of time's perpetual motion, and the eternal dance of the seasons weaving through the very fabric of existence within this grand tapestry of life. As the seasons continue their inexorable cycle at the Mongol court, the air is occasionally pierced with laughterous sound that dances on the steppe breeze, heralding a more light-hearted aspect of court life. Amid the grandeur and solemnity, humor emerges as a universal thread, weaving through gatherings with the delightful presence of jesters and entertainers skilled in the art of comedy and jest. The day begins with an infectious energy, as laughter ripples through the camp, carried on the whispers of winds that tease the edges of the tents. Jest, you quickly learn, is a cherished counterbalance to the more serious affairs of courtly duty, offering a reprieve that unfurls like a fresh breeze sweeping cobwebs from the mind. In the expansive festival grounds or around the hearth within a yurt, jesters take center stage, their antics powered by an exuberance that seems to defy gravity. They leap, bound, and caper with reckless grace, drawing delighted gasps and guffaws from their audience. Their jests are not simply frivolous antics, but carefully crafted performances laced with irony and wit, designed to entertain, educate, and often to tactfully critique the powers that be. Dressed in colorful garb adorned with bells that jingle with every movement, these jesters are masters of wordplay and physical comedy. They hold an unspoken authority, able to speak truths and poke fun at societal norms under the guises of humor that others might find too bold. There's a beloved tale of one particularly audacious jest known throughout the Kortof, a certain jester who famously donned the regalia of a visiting dignitary and proceeded to replicate a recent diplomatic faux pas with such flair that even the Khan was moved to laughter. Far from mere mockery, the jest provided an opportunity for reflection amidst the laughter, drawing out universal truths cloaked in comic relief. Historians still debate the extent to which these jesters influenced public opinion or merely served as entertainers. Were they sharp-eyed observers mirroring society's follies or simply performers perfumed in levity? Regardless of scholarly conclusions, Their presence injects a vital vibrancy into daily life, urging everyone to laugh at themselves, a reprieve from the weighty matters of the world. Interwoven with the jester's capers is a touch of the whimsical and magical. A mischievous jester might suddenly reveal a hidden talent, perhaps plucking sweet notes from a lute, spinning tales of mythical lands where irony reigns supreme and the trickster always prevails. Among the light-hearted performances, a foot race, in Jest, sees nobles awkwardly rolling giant wheels in ridiculous attempts to one-up each other, their esteemed titles forgotten amid the infectious humor of the moment. Jesters, skilled in softening, divides and emphasizing the universality of human folly, encourage a playful competition where the joy of participation outweighs the prestige of winning. The layers of comedic entertainment deepen further in more intimate gatherings, where satirical poetry is recited in smoke-filled tense verses that navigate the delicate balance of sharp critique wrapped in jovial rhythm. Here, performers use their craft to gently introduce controversial topics, allowing listeners the freedom to chuckle while reflecting on the underlying messages woven through humor. As evening descends and flickering fires cast playful shadows, the jesters retreat with the setting sun, leaving behind echoes of mirth and camaraderie enveloping the gathering like a warm blanket. The laughter shared softens the edges of the evening, serving as a calming balm for spirits wearied by the demands of empire. Comforted by the energy and insight derived from such playful moments, you carry forward the reminder that amid the rigid protocols and calculated plans, laughter holds a special place, a shared language transcending borders, smoothing grievances, and reminding all of the lightness of being essential to endurance. Returning to your wanderings, the fading sounds of Jest linger, like the whisper of a song suspended in time. It's a reflection of the Mongol court's brilliance, a reminder that even in the most formidable of halls, laughter serves a noble purpose, rejuvenating and renewing ties between people amid life's inherent unpredictability. And so, you step into the night, buoyed by the joy that comedy bestows, a gift timelessly unwrapped across ages, cherished in each bout of laughter that reverberates into the endless, star-filled expanse of the night sky, forever echoing the human spirit's resilience and delight. As the laughter from the jester's revelry slowly wanes, a soft, contemplative hush settles over the Mongol court, marking a transition into deeper reflections of spirituality and belief. In this intricate tapestry of life, faiths and folklore intertwine, creating a rich cultural mosaic that guides and nurtures the Mongol Empire's heart and soul. Crisp morning light filters through feathered clouds, casting gentle patterns across the landscape. The air, tinged with the earthy scent of morning dew and distant pine, is filled with the soft murmur of prayers and incantations whispered into the wind by shamans, monks, and priests, each offering blessings that embody the harmonious convergence of diverse beliefs. At the core of Mongol spirituality lies the reverence for Tengri, the eternal blue sky that watches over the earth, a symbol of the divine protector to whom Mongols direct their collective hopes and aspirations. This central belief, deeply rooted in their nomadic past, underscores the balance between sky and earth, man and nature, raw dance embodied in every ritual and prayer. Within this realm of faith, a multitude of practices coexist, reflecting the empire's open embrace of religious diversity. In one corner of the court, you observe a Buddhist lama quietly tending to a small altar, arranging offerings and lighting butter lamps to honor the compassionate deities. His chants, rhythmic and soothing, speak to the pursuit of enlightenment, a transcendent journey mirrored in every flickering flame. Nearby, a Persian merchant pauses to pray, his gestures reverent as he whispers the verses of the Quran, seeking guidance and strength. His presence is a testament to the extensive reach of Islam along the Silk Road, a spiritual path leading to unity and understanding across disparate cultures. Wandering through the court, you encounter storytellers spinning tales imbued with folklore, their narratives a rich tapestry of myth and moral lesson that stitches together human experience across time. These tales, with roots both ancient and evolving, inspire a delicate dance between the mystical and the real. One such story, shared with knowing smiles and wide-eyed wonder, recalls the playful spirit of the trickster fox. This creature, mischievous and wise, leads travelers astray only to impart an unexpected gift of truth, demonstrating the value of humility and the folly of Prydia parable that echoes the universal human pursuit of wisdom. Historians still debate the extent of religious harmony within the Mongol Empire, pondering whether it was a carefully curated coexistence or simply the result of political pragmatism. Whatever the motive, the result is a cultural ecosystem thriving in its inclusivity, with faith providing both solace and strength to its practitioners. Amid this spiritual tapestry, a quirky tidbit emerges: an account of the great Khan himself consulting with a renowned monk, not for matters of state, but to decipher a puzzling dream. In doing so, he exhibited a belief that, beyond realms of conquest, dreams offered insights unanchored by reality, connecting the conscious and subconscious within the vast cosmos. Yet here, beyond doctrine or denomination, a more pragmatic layer of faith unfolds. The Mongols' adaptable spirituality speaks not only to divine connection, but harmony between tribes and peoples. In this vast empire, faith becomes the thread that weaves peace through diversity, moving hearts and minds united by shared hopes, dreams, and the whispers of folklore that breathe life into the soul. With each step through this sacred space, you feel the palpable presence of these beliefs, an enduring testament to humanity's need for meaning and connection, embracing the grand narratives written in the stars and mirrored in the heart. As the day wanes, the rolling hills and open skies of the steppe once again come alive, embracing a meditative stillness amplified by the distant flute's languid notes. Here within the Mongol court, belief lives not solely in grand gestures of worship, but in the connections fostered through shared stories and aspirations. Drawing comfort from the soothing embrace of faiths, practiced and hope renewed, you step away with a heart lightened by the harmony you have observed. Under the eternal watch of Tengri, you wander toward horizons unfurled, where stories of spirit and folklore continue to dance into the tapestry of time, a celebration of life, lived in endless exploration of the divine truths that inform and warm the journey. As stars begin their brilliant ascent across the velvety sky, the legacy of these faiths and folklore woven through time, through lands near and distant, remains a beacon of continuity and courage, nurturing the Mongol court with the promise of spiritual discovery and the endless adventures of the human spirit. As twilight gives way to the twinkling tapestry of the night sky, another Mongol tradition comes to life with grandeur, lending a majestic serenity to the vast expanse of the open steppe. This is the world of feathered festivities, where falconry reigns supreme, a union between man and bird that reflects both the nobility and skill revered by the Mongols. In the soft morning light, the air is cool and fresh, carrying the scent of grass moistened by the evening dew. The sounds of the court stir around you, growing from the murmur of early risers to a lively chorus with the promise of the day's events. Central to this scene is the disciplined art of falconry, an ancient practice embraced by the Mongol warriors, not only for sustenance, but as a demonstration of prowess and elegance. Falconers and their birds gather just beyond the main encampment, where the steppe stretches out in a seemingly endless panorama. Draped in traditional attire, the falconers handle their prized birds with a deftness and care honed over years of partnership. These magnificent birds of prey rest on leather-gloved fists, their sharp eyes scanning the horizon with an intensity matched only by their handlers' proud gazes. Each falcon and eagle in attendance is a testament to the mastery and dedication of generations. The birds' feathers shimmer in the tender sunlight, swirling patterns of brown and gold reflected in the deft weave of their jesses, a tactile bond between sky and earth. This moment of poised anticipation captures the pure essence of harmony forged between man and nature. As the call to begin rings out, piercing the clean, crisp air, the falcons launch skyward, their ascent a beautiful symphony of wing beats against the backdrop of the brilliant azure sky. An orchestrated ballet ensues, one where the delicate interplay of command and freedom guides each bird to her target, a showcase of trust and instinct that transcends words. Historians still argue about the origins of falconry within the Mongol Empire, contemplating whether it arose through interaction with neighboring cultures or developed independently. What remains indisputable, however, is its revered status, woven intrinsically into the fabric of Mongol life as both practical hunt and symbolic ceremony. Beside you, a spectator shares an amusing anecdote about a falcon's unexpected detour through a noble's feast, gracefully plucking morsels from the tabla, cheeky testament to the bird's independence and guile, and the humor with which the court adored them. Such tales wend through the fabric of these gatherings, lacing light-heartedness with the nobler visage of falconry. Beyond mere spectacle, falconry symbolizes a deeper connection to the natural world, echoing the Mongols' historical relationship with the land that sustained them. This symbiosis serves as a talisman of humility and respect, a recognition of the interdependence of all living things and the continuum of life that threads through the heart of the empire. As the birds return to their handlers, calm and composed, a sense of collective awe fills the air. The falconers share, knowing glancesolent confirmations of lives lived in tandem, of the invisible bond strong enough to connect sky and heart in a single arc of transcendence. Leaving the field, you sense how feathered festivities reflect the beauty of balance and partnership, a mingling of grandeur and grace that echoes the broader ethos of the Mongol court. In each flight, you find a story written upon the winds, carving a shared narrative that celebrates the gentle eloquence of ancient tradition intertwined with ever-evolving horizons. These feathered celebrations stand not only as a tribute to an art form that defies time, but as a vibrant metaphor for an empire that soared far and wide, tethered by the wisdom and strength of its people, forever seeking the grace that lives within the sky's embrace. As you withdraw, the fluttering wings and resonant cries of the birds linger in your mind, testaments to the unfurling possibilities when harmony with nature blooms at the heart of human endeavor. The Mongol court's feathered festivities unfold like a fable cherished beneath the vast skies, immortalized within the threads of nature and history, where the spirit of adventure and reverence for life soar freely across an azure canvas of endless potential. The feathered elegance of falconry begins to fade into the lull of the day as the Mongol court shifts its focus to another celebrated tradition, a grand hunt that haunts the heart of the empire. In this vast expanse where the horizon stretches indefinitely, the call of the hunt resonates, offering a testament to the Mongols' prowess and the thrill of the chase. With the first light of dawn gently nudging the night away, you find yourself enveloped in the chill of pre-dawn air, invigorated by the anticipation brimming among the courtiers and warriors alike. The sense of leather saddles freshly oiled and horses breathing mist into the brisk morning meld with the earthy undertones of dust rising from the steppes. To partake in the hunt, one must be both strategist and athlete, a harmony of mind and body gleaned from generations accustomed to the great outdoors. Riders check their gear, ensuring the tautness of their bowstrings and the readiness of their quivers filled with finely honed arrows, each a potential moment of victory as the ride unfolds. Trumpeters signal the hunt's commencement, their notes slicing through the crisp air. Riders mount their steeds with deft elegance, each horse snorting and stamping with a keenness mirrored by their human companions. As they assemble, a crescendo of energy pulses through the band's heart, reverberating outward from the skilled hands of the chosen leader who holds the path's plan. The hunt commences with a gallop, a cascade of motion and sound as the horses cut through the wind and landscape. The landscape rushes past in a blur of greens and browns interwoven with the ephemeral colors of the dawn. Historians still discuss whether these hunts served solely as practical means to secure food or as critical exercises in military preparation. Perhaps they were the marriage of both, each moment of the hunt, a double-edged sword of provision and practice. Strategically placed huntsmen drive the game from their hiding places, their barks echoing across the steppe. Arrows arc through the air with a whisper, projectiles of intent and skill. The animals, each attuned to the chase in a dance as old as time, test the limits of speed and cunning against their pursuers. Among the riders, a spontaneous camaraderie forms, bolstered by the adrenaline of the pursuit and the bond of shared purpose. The spectacle becomes a panoramic ballet of strategy and sinew, where allegiance is forged in the unity of the chase. Sharing tales along the ride's fiery path, the riders build a living narrative of triumph and companionship, a microcosm of the Empire's own expansive journey. A moment of levity in the chase arises a rider, swayed by the untamed energy of his mount, loses his balance and tumbles into soft grass, popping up unharmed amid laughter and lighthearted cheers. This moment softens the air, a reminder of the balance between competition and camaraderie that forges stronger ties. As the day's light reaches its peak, the hunt draws to a close. Victorious cries swell as the game is gathered, trophies celebrated not just for their bounty but as reminders of the unity and skill that brought them to ground. The hunters dismount, each footfall settling on fertile earth as the air fills with the heady scent of campfires being coaxed to life. In the aftermath of the hunt, a feast awaits, laden tables brimming with the fruits of their pursuit, celebrating both the hunter's skill and the life that provided. With roaring fires licking at skewered meats, the warmth bleeds into the coolness of evening, each savory morsel a testament to the day's endeavors. Amidst the clink of wooden cups and the camaraderie of the shared meal, stories of the day's pursuit intertwine with legends of hunt's past narrative flowing from speaker to listener, from elder to youth. These stories, vibrant with feats both real and exaggerated, reinforce the continuity of tradition, binding generations with threads of experience and aspiration. As night draws its velvet curtain across the land, the legacy of the hunt is felt not just in the day's memories, but in the enduring spirit that permeates the Mongol court. It captures a world governed by instincts and insight, a microcosm of empire and identity, sustained by the delicate equilibrium between survival, companionship, and the innate urge to pursue life's challenges with vigor. Walking away from the echoes of the hunt, you realize that within the beating heart of Mongolian tradition lies a narrative both eternal and dynamic, a history sculpted by the call of the wild, and the deep-rooted connection to the land that holds all within its embrace. The chase continues, not just within the visible boundaries of the court but in the stories carried forward, woven into the greater tapestry that celebrates the unyielding dance of man, nature, and the timeless pursuit of life itself. The feathered elegance of falconry begins to fade into the lull of the day as the Mongol court shifts its focus to another celebrated tradition, a grand hunt that haunts the heart of the empire. In this vast expanse where the horizon stretches indefinitely, the call of the hunt resonates, offering a testament to the Mongols' prowess and the thrill of the chase. With the first light of dawn gently nudging the night away, you find yourself enveloped in the chill of pre-dawn air, invigorated by the anticipation brimming among the courtiers and warriors alike. The sense of leather saddles freshly oiled and horses breathing mist into the brisk morning meld with the earthy undertones of dust rising from the steppes. To partake in the hunt, one must be both strategist and athlete, a harmony of mind and body gleaned from generations accustomed to the great outdoors. Riders check their gear, ensuring the tautness of their bowstrings and the readiness of their quivers filled with finely honed arrows, each a potential moment of victory as the ride unfolds. Trumpeters signal the hunt's commencement, their notes slicing through the crisp air. Riders mount their steeds with deft elegance, each horse snorting and stamping with a keenness mirrored by their human companions. As they assemble, a crescendo of energy pulses through the band's heart, reverberating outward from the skilled hands of the chosen leader who holds the path's plan. The hunt commences with a gallop, a cascade of motion and sound as the horses cut through the wind and landscape. The landscape rushes past in a blur of greens and browns interwoven with the ephemeral colors of the dawn. Historians still discuss whether these hunts served solely as practical means to secure food or as critical exercises in military preparation. Perhaps they were the marriage of both, each moment of the hunt, a double-edged sword of provision and practice. Strategically placed huntsmen drive the game from their hiding places, their barks echoing across the steppe. Arrows arc through the air with a whisper, projectiles of intent and skill. The animals, each attuned to the chase in a dance as old as time, test the limits of speed and cunning against their pursuers. Among the riders, a spontaneous camaraderie forms, bolstered by the adrenaline of the pursuit and the bond of shared purpose. The spectacle becomes a panoramic ballet of strategy and sinew, where allegiance is forged in the unity of the chase. Sharing tales along the ride's fiery path, the riders build a living narrative of triumph and companionship, a microcosm of the Empire's own expansive journey. A moment of levity in the chase, a Rizesa rider, swayed by the untamed energy of his mount, loses his balance and tumbles into soft grass, popping up unharmed amid laughter and light-hearted cheers. This moment softens the air, a reminder of the balance between competition and camaraderie that forges stronger ties. As the day's light reaches its peak, the hunt draws to a close. Victorious cries swell as the game is gathered, trophies celebrated not just for their bounty but as reminders of the unity and skill that brought them to ground. The hunters dismount, each footfall settling on fertile earth as the air fills with the heady scent of campfires being coaxed to life. In the aftermath of the hunt, a feast awaits, laden tables brimming with the fruits of their pursuit, celebrating both the hunter's skill and the life that provided. With roaring fires licking its skewered meats, the warmth bleeds into the coolness of evening, each savory morsel a testament to the day's endeavors. Amidst the clink of wooden cups and the camaraderie of the shared meal, stories of the day's pursuit intertwine with legends of hunts past a narrative flowing from speaker to listener, from elder to youth. These stories, vibrant with feats, both real and exaggerated, reinforce the continuity of tradition, binding generations with threads of experience and aspiration. As night draws its velvet curtain across the land, the legacy of the hunt is felt not just in the day's memories but in the enduring spirit that permeates the Mongol court. It captures a world governed by instincts and insight, a microcosm of empire and identity sustained by the delicate equilibrium between survival, companionship, and the innate urge to pursue life's challenges with vigor. Walking away from the echoes of the hunt, you realize that within the beating heart of Mongolian tradition lies a narrative both eternal and dynamic, a history sculpted by the call of the wild, and the deep-rooted connection to the land that holds all within its embrace. The chase continues, not just within the visible boundaries of the court, but in the stories carried forward, woven into the greater tapestry that celebrates the unyielding dance of man, nature, and the timeless pursuit of life itself. The vast sky stretches above as the Mongol court settles into a gentle rhythm, whispering promises of peace and reflection to carry through the night. Among these ancient grounds, thoughts drift toward the enduring legacy of an empire defined by triumphs, traditions, and cherished gatherings. As the moon bathes the landscape in a gentle glow, the time has come to step back, allowing the echoes of history to guide us toward a tranquil conclusion. In the tender embrace of evening, the yurt nestled among the final embers of the court glows softly from within. Voices, once vibrant, gradually ease into a quieter cadence, punctuated by the soft crackle of fire and the occasional flutter of canvas in the wind, a gentle lullaby sung by the eternal steppe. Here, in this serene space, memories unfold alongside the melancholic notes of a lone musician, their haunting melody weaving through the night, a silky thread stitching together the stories of those who have come before. As the evening air cools upon the skin, a sense of shared purpose holds firm an unwavering thread, binding hearts and stories across time. Within this gathering, lives lived under great skies and over endless plains are celebrated, all with laughter, tears, and ultimately, unity. The grand courts and spiraling conquests slip away, leaving behind the essence of an empire that thrives not merely in the annals of history but within the rhythms of life, immortalized in warmth, wisdom, and companionship. In this quiet hour, the simple power of perseverance and shared dreams resonates. Beneath this grand, starry canopy, the stories of past festivals, of laughter that lingers and alliances whispered into being, reveal all they are meant to say. Each story a bead on an endless necklace strung through time, prepares to rest, content in its subtle, eternal dance among the heavens. The time has come to draw near to the comforting stillness that these moonlit hours bestow, offering a gentle reminder of the constancy of change and the grace found within its embrace. Here, where the wind holds its collective breath, a whisper floats softly into the ether, promising renewal with each new dawn. Embrace this timeless sense of calm. Let its gentle touch ease away the demands of the day, cradling you in a world where legacies continue to weave through ancient songs and the quiet resolve of nature's oral embrace, ever reminding us of the palpable link between then and now. With the tales of Mongol court slumbering, let your thoughts drift wherever they will. In the serenity of this closing moment, may you find peace as deep as the night sky extending beyond the limits of the eye, reminder of the endless stories yet to unfold. As you gently drift away into a comfortable, drowsy calm, remember that the history of these lands, their spirit wrapped in tales of resilience and unity, continues its course, softly threading human and celestial spheres together. The night, in its infinite majesty, guards these memories with reverent clarity, bestowing a tranquil slumber to carry dreams forward, driven anew by the chorus of history's tender breath. Sweet dreams.